I want to challenge you to take this kind of workbook and worksheets, and I want you to toss them. Because in today's video, I'm going to be showing you the fun, engaging, interactive activities I do with my kids to learn handwriting. And if you stay tuned to the end of this video, I'll share a couple different resources I use alongside these activities to really enhance the learning. Today we are talking all things handwriting. And by handwriting, I mean handwriting. We are talking about the strokes you have to make and the movements you have to use to actually get the formation of letters. I will not in this video be talking about the pre-handwriting stage that is all about the fine motor, just activities in general. I feel like that is a whole can of worms I'm not going to open today. And then I'm not going to be talking about what I do kind of after this step, which is going into and actually writing words and formation of words and then sentences. That comes later. So let us get right to the first activity. It is super important, and it is just writing letters. I know it sounds, again, very simple, but it is a super important thing because there's only so many things you can do when it comes to large motor using a lot of muscles for handwriting skills. And I love this specific activity because it actually gets a lot of motions and muscles flowing to get the brain function flowing a little bit more, because the more that your brain is moving, the more memory that it will actually remember those formations for a letter. Another great large motor activity is what I just call large letters on the floor. It has no specific name. I don't know what to call it. You just take tape and put a letter on the floor with that tape. And then your child will take anything that they want, from a car to a truck to a horse that wants to gallop, and they take it and they literally go in the formation of that letter. Now we're going to go into a little bit more of the activities that are more sit down but still hands-on. And we can't do a lot with our hands without talking about Play-Doh, because Play-Doh is great for fine motor, as you probably already know, because there's millions of activities with Play-Doh. But this specific one is really great because all you have to do is have the child roll out the Play-Doh and then give them a letter and they write it in the Play-Doh. What is great about this is it actually requires a lot more strength in your hand to move in Play-Doh than it does on paper. So not only are they able to actually get that grip a little bit more, but they're also able to really have to push hard and thus remember that movement a bit more. Another version I kind of do with this is that I also have letter stamps for Play-Doh, and all you have to do is just stamp the letter in the Play-Doh and then they can trace over it if they're sort of at the beginning level, and then after that they can just write it on their own. This next one I have done since the beginning of my homeschool journey. It is just the QTip letters, or the dot letters. There's lots of different free resources out there. I'll actually put down in the comment section below and also in the description box so you guys know where to find the resources that I actually use specifically, personally. My next go-to activity, and I mean by go-to, is I probably use this at least twice a week. And that is writing in sand, or writing in shaving cream, or you can even write in whipping cream if you do not mind your kids eating it at the time. I generally use shaving cream because then they're not as tempted to put it in their mouth, but that's just a total heads up and total preference to you. Now this next one I absolutely love to do in the summertime, but you can do it in the wintertime as well, and that is using chalk. Chalk is so fun for kids, especially outside. They can write as big as they want, or you can even write as little as they can. You can make it like a little game and say, make it as small as you can so I can still read it, or make it as big as you can so I can actually fit in it. Super fun, different things you can do with it and kind of make it your own, which is what I love about chalk. If you are doing it in the winter time, like right now, you have to do it, unfortunately, inside. And for us, we luckily have an easel that has a dry erase side and a chalk side. I really want to broaden this activity and say, just write differently. Write on mirrors. What is really cool and what gets my kids like in hoots is writing on our sliding glass door to outside. I don't know what it is about this, between that and mirrors. It's like, oh, this is so much fun. I don't know if it's just different or you're like also seeing outside that makes it kind of interesting and intriguing. I'm not really sure, but the kids love this. So take a dry erase marker and write on your windows, write on your mirrors. It's super, super funny and really interesting to watch. So this next activity actually came about from using the sidewalk chalk outside. So when we were outside one day, we had written all the letters and things like that. I thought it would be really cool to just use the water, because we had different paintbrushes and things like that left over from some things, to take the paintbrushes and actually trace effectively over what you just wrote. So not only do you get to practice with the chalk, but then you go after the fact and take it with the paintbrush and water and do it again, which is really fun. Another variation of this activity is to trace what you have written, say, on paper, and they can trace with finger paint if you want them to use their finger, or you can upgrade to a brush and have them use a brush with paint, and that's a really fun activity as well. But it's really just that tracing type activity, but with something that is other than a pencil. All right, so let's talk resources. When I do these activities, they're super fun, the kids love them, that's great. But I also want to make sure when they are doing these activities and when they're actually doing the handwriting, they can visually see the letter sometimes. Not all the time, because I want them to actually remember what it looks like. But sometimes, especially when they're first learning, I think it's important to actually visually see what the letter looks like. Now, Montessori letters are extremely awesome. I think the tactile method of these types of letters are amazing. In the description box below, I'm going to link the specific ones that I have right here. And I love these kind of raised sandpaper letters. All you do is you just, when you're doing a specific activity, have that letter set aside by what they're doing. And it really allows them to visually see the letter. And then also you can have them specifically, use their finger to trace alongside it as well, before they do an activity and also after, just to reinforce the actual movement of the letter. My other resource that I use quite a bit is my friend Angela's letter rhymes. I think I've used these since my oldest was 3 or 4. I don't know, whenever she came out with these, I have had them. They are amazing, they're super cute, and the kids really enjoy the rhymes and sometimes even begin to rhyme along with you as they get to know their letters a bit more, and it's super fun and really cute. If you are curious as to what I do in the next stage of handwriting, check out my video on what I do with my kindergartner/first grader. And then also, if you have any interest on seeing what we do for phonics in general and the games we play for that, check out this video here. As always, I hope you got something out of this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did. And don't forget to hit that red subscribe button, and we'll see you next time. Bye.